Welcome back. Good evening, guys. We are back at Devil's Den episode 3, show brought to you all by Footy Talk. First of all, before I start the show, please help us to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and help us to grow the show. Right, guys, first and foremost, let me introduce you to our speakers today. We have some familiar faces back. Welcoming back Dinesh. He got some
Hello.
hot topics to take on. Welcome back Selena. Lady Power today. And Duhain, nice having you. Looks like you have a mismatch of jersey there. It's not Argentina show, no. It's a Manchester United show.
Yeah, I'm very well aware of that.
And we have an Argentinian players that we don't want to, unless you're looking for one now. And nice to have you, Kevin. First time in.
Thank you
Thanks for
having
coming
me.
in. Alright, guys. Let's quickly jump in to our first topic. I mean, it was a great weekend, great time. Positive results over the week. Bashed up Leeds 6-2, a derby. Went on and got at Goodison Park a clean sheet, 2-0 win. This seems to be very positive, especially after getting thrashed out in the Champions League. So what's changed? Dinesh, what's your thought on that? What has changed? What has caused to this improvement?
I think based on the we go for the Leeds game first. I think the hype was very much big for that game. You know that Rose derby and all that. So I think the players I think had a mental control on the whole thing. They did not get the whole hype on their head. They played their game. They played like we are comfortable at Old Trafford. At the first goal they played a very good game. So it looks like the guys are now a bit more relaxed in the head. So it's like how to say that it's a different mindset compared to the Leipzig. I think Leipzig game really hit them hard because the qualification was there for granted and they never take it. So I think now they are really going all out to prove themselves that they deserve to be in this club. There's a lot of back news about Pogba and all that. So I think Ole has finally got his players in the same wavelength. So I think that was the key for Everton and also the Leeds game, especially the Everton game because Leeds.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're looking at that way, I'm going to just cut you. Let's be objective. The Leipzig game, we had bad defense, bad mistakes. It was the same game, the same show against the Leeds. Only thing Benford did not take his chance.
Yeah. So the thing is, as I told, I think last week we spoke about it, and I told you that against Leeds, if we can control the midfield, the game is ours. So our midfield was strong. McTominay and Fred were running the show, and the strikers was doing their part. So our defense is the key problem. Because if you notice, against Everton we had a clean sheet, and then we had Bailly and we had Maguire. Okay, Maguire, I don't have much trust on Maguire because he can be quite clumsy at times. But Bailly, since he came to Villarreal under Jose Mourinho's time, I always found him to be a person we can depend on. Unless like maybe there's one or two mistakes any defender would do. But he's a very solid guy at the back. So I think we should have paid Bailly at the Leeds game because it was already obvious Lindelof is carrying an injury and he already made it open. I mean, ESPN reported that he was carrying injury, he's playing with pain. So we should actually take him out of the game, let him recover, put someone who's fit enough, and then you have a better defense. So
Okay.
I feel that Lindelof should given a time off, maybe a couple of games to recover, get Bailly or Twanzebe in. Even Maguire can take a break because I think he has played a lot of games in the last many months. I think the guy might get burnt out. He's already burning us out with his mistakes. I don't want him to get burnt out again.
All right. Kevin, what
Yeah.
about you? Do you second what Dinesh just mentioned? A change of players, a change of attitude, or it was just pure luck, just depending on few players to strive the team out?
Sure. So yeah, I completely agree with what Dinesh said. I think just to echo what he said we need to change or shake up our defense a little bit. In the Leeds game, we had 9 changes. For the Everton game, we had 9 changes, and we won that game, right? With Bailly at the back. Moving forward, I think for at least the Leicester's game, I think Vardy is going to be a problem for Maguire. I think Vardy is going to be too quick for Maguire, and it shows that we need a defender who is fast enough to handle fast players. Bailly, I think he is quick, but as Dinesh said, he makes mistakes 1 or 2, which is normal for defenders to do. But Bailly is also injury prone. So in terms of defensive reliability in the United backline, at least, it's not totally a confident backline lah.
Okay, Kevin, we have a comment here from Sina. Hey Sina, nice having you watching the show. Thanks, man. Okay, Lindelof can be offloaded lah. 35 million plus add-on for defensive player. Must play him or offload? What do you think? Does the price tag warrant us to keep playing him? Or should we keep benching him or selling him and play Bailey in?
I think in terms, if we are comparing Lindelof and Eric Bailly, I personally rate Bailly better than Victor Lindelof. Before he extended his contract, Lindelof was playing, I think, one of the best forms of his United career. And then he extended his contract, and then the slump started coming in. As of recently, okay, his form is increasing. He even scored a goal in the Leeds game, but he's still not as robust, I would say, as Bailly. So,
but for robust, you have Maguire there. He will wrestle his players on the box.
That's true. But Maguire is robust but yet slow. So Bailly gives that extra speed in the back line, I feel.
So in short, Lindelof to go.
Lindelof to go, Bailly to come in.
All right. Okay, let's just run through some comments here. Duhin, there's a support for you from Pua. Hi Pua, nice watching you on the show. Wise decision for supporting Argentina. Duhin, Pua, sadly he supports Netherlands. You never trust a person who wrestles. Alright.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to comment here. It's just a jersey.
Jivan Nathan Silvernagar, nice having you on the show. Lovely bro. Then we have some comments here from Kugan. Go, Manchester United. He goes on. Team Segamat. Alright, thanks for watching show. Okay, Duhin, let's cut it off.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about the game?
Yeah, so both very positive results against Leeds and also against Everton. I particularly liked, or rather enjoyed, the defensive performance when we played against Everton. However, in terms of entertainment value, we have to say that the game against Leeds, it's going to be an iconic game come end of the season. Both played an open style of football, and I think we have to commend Ole and the coaching staff. I would say they set up the team really well against Leeds, knowing that Leeds does this man marking thing where each of the 3 midfielders will man mark or mark man to man against the midfield players and the attacking midfield player of United. I think Calvin Phillips started the first half, played the first half constantly following Bruno Fernandes, and the other 2 midfielders, Rafinha and Alioski, were with Fred and McTominay. And for once, I think we have to commend the team for starting in the 4th gear. I thought that was something that we've been commenting about every time United have been starting in the 2nd gear, and we always tend to let 1 goal in before actually starting to play well. So yeah, for this part, we really have to commend the team. They started off really well, and they did not, after scoring 1 goal, did not take things easily. They did not sit back and relax and just pass the ball around. They actually committed man forward for the 2nd goal. McTominay made that run, and he received the pass from MarSIAL, and a really good, very neat finishing by McTominay. It's very, very nice to see. But if we were to cherry pick if we were to really look for faults in United's performance, then I think we have to put our hands up and acknowledge that there were moments in the first half. We actually spoke about this. We know there was a cross that came in from Wan-Bissaka's flank, and Maguire and Lindelof both failed to clear it, and it went towards Luke Shaw, and he seemed to be waiting for the ball to arrive to him before clearing it. and we could see Rafinha actually coming in, and that was, I felt, was a very dangerous moment. We need to be more decisive in the defensive or in our defensive box. Everything you go towards the ball, clear it off. And then when we were 2-0 up, there was a loose pass by Wan-Bissaka to Fred, and he lost possession. Just one pass and Bamford was through, and Maguire did not have the pace to catch up with him. It was basically one-on-one Bamford and De Gea, and you could see him opening up his body, going for the far.
So was it the same old United, defensive wise?
Yeah. I mean, then again, I'm choosing to stay positive. It was a really good performance by United, but there were still flaws that you have to look into.
Was it a good performance, or was there an element of luck? Because the 2 goals came within 3 minutes. They just caught Leeds United off guard. But in the start of second half, you saw how Leeds were controlling the game. But by then, they were already a number of goals down. And Manchester United did what they do the best by counter-attacking currently. Because currently we seem to be playing like a mid-table team or a relegation battling team, aspiring on counter-attacks. So let's put another way around. If it was Leeds United taking a 1-0 lead, would United still be winning the game?
It's quite hard to say, but it would definitely put us in a very different and difficult situation. It will definitely be, because once Leeds score the first goal, they will definitely have momentum on their side, and United will be very aware that they will have to equalize back. They'll have to commit a bit more extra and go forward, knowing that there would be a risk whereby if they get countered, it will put them at a very difficult position. Considering the fact that both our centre backs, it's a well-known fact that both our centre backs do not have they do not have the fastest legs in them in the league. So yeah, definitely, to answer your question, it would put us in a very difficult position had they scored first.
So did Ole get it right for that game by catching them off guard?
Yeah, I think Ole got it right. I think more than Ole. I mean, he set the team correctly, but it was the all 11 players.
Do you want to take this up from Sina?
No, I've always been against Ole out. Like, for me, you need to give Ole more time. I at the same time, I acknowledge that he has made mistakes in the past.
So are you now on board? Are you now on board with Ole out or Ole in?
Yeah, I'm still in the middle. I'm like, give him more time. Let's hope for the best and hopefully.
But he has already got 2 years. It's already 2 years plus 7 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, you actually counted, bro. Remember, right?
But Vinod, can I just add on what Duhain said just now, right? When he said he wanted to give credit to Ole, I think Ole really deserves a credit on that. Remember when we saw the lineup, when we saw James on the lineup, like everybody was skeptical. Is this really going to be a good formations, and then the players and all this? But he really proved us wrong, after the goals came in and all that, and then you see Fred and McTominay's, pair and all this. So for that, he really need to be given the credit. So I would really say hats off to Ole on that.
Okay, Selina, I'm going to counter you on that. Is it Ole or is it Bielsa that was too stubborn? We have a comment here from Selina. I think yes, it's kind of seemed right. I think agreeing to what Duhain said. Bielsa was just stubborn and don't want to adapt and amend the tactics. It ended up 4-2, best case, worst case 6-2. Ole got it right because Bielsa is stubborn. So, was Bielsa stubborn? We saw him not adapting to any changes. He played his same tempo. He didn't change his players. They played rigidly the same. And Leeds United has not changed any way of playing.
Yeah, for me,
So
I would
Ole
also second and that as well. Like for me, part of we winning it big is also because of Bielsa as well. At one point, I was thinking, did United fight his drink or something? Because if you realize he keep drinking the water and he keep like squatting down, like being restless, but you don't see anything change in terms of in the field or something, the players and all that. That was a bit shocking for me as well, because I thought he gonna have a different games, like you're gonna come with a different type of games and all that against us, but that was also a reason why I feel that we have so much space also on the field that we could have actually scored more. Actually, we can go more than 6 goals on that game actually, but there's few goals that was not really taken up. The opportunity is not taken up well.
Okay, in that case, did we also spike up Carlo Ancelotti's link? United went to Goodison Park, got a clean sheet with a team that played with 4 defensive defenders, central defenders, 2 defensive-minded players, and Manchester United sort of came out with a team B, I would say, a second team.
Yeah, a second team. That was brilliant. Even in the games against Leeds, if you realize they rested Fred and McTominay the earlier midweek match, for that match. So for this game also, it was another rotation, So that's why I said one thing about Ole is I feel it's a brilliant move to move that to this because he know the game's going to be very tight in a very tight schedule. But at the same time also the game against Everton was really nice to watch also because you can see counter-attacking match and Cavani he was really brilliant. I really don't know how to say about this man, but he's the real proper striker, like he know how to finish up the game and all that. Like I was talking to Dean, so like he was telling, even though we scored the game, the goal was like at the end of the games, right? Like over to the end, right? But the goals are coming in. You have the confidence the goals are coming in. That kind of match that you wanted to see, that we still have the confidence, the counter-attacking thing.
All right. Okay. I mean, it has been good 1 week since the Manchester derby. Results has been positive moving forward. But during these results, we have seen some players resurging up. So, saying that, let's move on to our next topic and conquer. Is Scott McTominay our next midfield lieutenant? We saw some impressive performance from him. Is he the next one? Is he the next midfield general that we have been waiting for? He seemed to own the game in Leeds. He played out his heart. It was a typical British player performance. Just getting stamped in, moving up and down. But it's been some time since we saw that. So, is he the next one? Is he the next Keane? Or is he the next Ings? Or is he the next Bud? Or is he just Scott McTominay by himself? Kevin, what's your thought on it?
Max Sauce, Scott McTominay. I think, to me personally, he will remain a squad player. He did extremely well in the Leeds game. Let's give credit where credit is due. I think he played a more box-to-box midfielder role during the Leeds game. So whether or not, to go back to the topic, whether or not he's the next midfield lieutenant, at the moment I don't see McTominay having that talent. But for the absence of the talent that he may not have, he makes it up with tenacity and hard work for sure. He fights for the badge and he goes in for every tackle. So I think McTominay at the moment remains a squad player to me, but good potential moving forward.
But United has always had a player of that caliber who doesn't have the skills or what, but had the tenacity and everything. You can go back to Darren Fletcher or Nicky Butt or even Roy Keane himself. These guys wasn't great with their feet, but they just knew how to play box to box. They delivered energy, they delivered passion in the game. So can we conquer, or you still don't think so? He's not going to be up there. Can he replace Pogba or Matic?
So I mean, to compare him to Pogba, for example, I think they are two different class of footballers. Pogba is more of I think the way he's playing now is more of a deep lying playmaker compared to McTominay, who's sort of, I think it also goes down to how Oli and Carrick is managing McTominay, because they're not entirely sure, I think, where they're playing him, whether they're playing him in the center defensive or more defensive role, or more you bomb forward and you bomb backwards, right? So yes, I agree with you. I think there are likes of other Manchester United players like Roy Keane, who did not have great talent, who became a club legend. So fingers crossed. I hope that is what happens with McTominay.
So can he be the Lord McTominay soon? We have one from Sina here. Sina, don't be offended. He hasn't reached that status yet. He reached there soon. And then we take away the title from you.
Only Lingard. Sina, Lord is only Lingard.
No, I thought Bednar also.
Bednar, yeah. Lord Bednar.
Wait, Lord Lingard, he needs to come back. He will come back. Wait and see.
Under 21 game. Definitely a comeback.
Duhain, what about you? Do you agree with Kevin that he's still not there? he's still not a key player. He should be just a utility squad player.
Yeah, I think I fully agree with Kevin's assessment of McTominay. I think what he lacks in skills and what he lacks in the other attributes that maybe Pogba or Bruno might have, he really makes it up in terms of tenacity, his passion for the club, his commitment to the game. You always see him putting 101% in the game. I think before, when we previewed the United Leeds game, one topic that we spoke about was to match the work rate of Leeds United players. And after watching 90 minutes of the game, I mean, there's a term, where he covered every blade of the grass. I felt like that's what McTominay did. He was constantly running, and the work rate, he absolutely put on a masterclass in terms of committing to the work rate. And I thought that was brilliant from United's point of view. Even in the setup, they recognized that they had to match Leeds, knowing that how Leeds play, and they put McTominay as starting midfielder. And you have to comment Ole for that. And it was a brilliant performance. And there's this school of thought among United fans that maybe we've been getting it wrong. Maybe playing McTominay as a sitting midfielder might not have been the most ideal choice because it does not really fit that profile. Maybe playing him box to box might be the right choice. And so far for one game, we've seen that on display. Like, it was a brilliant performance. Let's give him time and not jump the gun too fast. Let's see him play that role more often in several games and then make a proper assessment if he's indeed that midfielder. But in terms of work rate, in terms of commitment, that's a United player. That's a United player that fans especially want to see. Yeah.
All right. Dinesh, we have a comment here from Vijay. Hi Vijay, thanks for watching the show. McTominay equivalent to Darren Fletcher, not Paul Scholes. Do you concur?
Actually, McTominay, if you ask me, like what Kevin also doing, say that he's a squad player because if you take McTominay out, you play McTominay and you take out Fred, I think McTominay will not be able to perform as what he always does. Because I always notice that McTominay and Fred are like a tag team. They might not be the best footwork they have, compared to like Pogba or maybe Bruno and all. But they are hardworking. Fletcher, on the other hand, if you want to compare, Fletcher, on the other hand, was also a hardworking player. It's just like McTominay, but I always see them as a separate type of players. Okay, McTominay for me is a super hardworking player, modest. He's there when you need him, especially the first two goals.
Or is he next Hargreaves? We have a comment here from Kugan. McTominay with Hargreaves. So who is he?
No,
Hargreaves
Hargreaves is a different topic altogether. Hargreaves is one of the most saddest story I've seen in football. Seriously, a promising player, not well treated by Bayern Munich and given to us on a cheap, and we kind of got the last part of his career. But McTominay, if you ask me, he is, for me personally, I would see him as a future club captain material if he continues performing the way he does. Because he knows the United way. He is
so why can't he take an armband now itself from Maguire? See, you say he has potential.
Okay, the seniority.
Duhain said he is the club material, a United material. Now you said seniority. I'm going to differ from that. Who's more senior, McTominay or Maguire?
Of course, we have McTominay as a senior player, but now football is all about price tag. So the most expensive defender gets the armband. Looks like that. That's why I as much as I love Ole, I do not agree with the captain of this team.
However, the second most expensive defender did not get an armband.
Who?
Virgil van Dijk. Still, Henderson is still the captain.
Virgil van Dijk. Okay, let's not go to the cop side of world. Let them handle their problem. We've got a bigger problem outside. But personally, I feel seriously, McTominay. Earlier what they said, McTominay is not like Scholes. Of course, Scholes is different. McTominay different. Fletcher. Everybody is a different type of player. But McTominay, I see him as a good tag team with Fred for United. If McTominay and Fred plays, I'm very sure the midfield will be a hardworking one, because those guys always run their lungs out. I just love when both of them are playing. Even if one of them not playing, I'm telling you that squad is not complete. It's how good they are. And the best part, Fred was a 50 million washout when he was bought. They were thinking, what is this guy going to do? He's 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk and he's a Brazilian and he's not performing. Is it another Brazilian curse? But when you put him with McTominay in the middle, then you'll know what their potential is. So for me, I feel McTominay is a good player, can be a great player if he can keep his head leveled, and maybe we don't know, maybe a future captain material. Guy is very young, man. Seriously, even the 2 goals against Leeds, I never saw it coming from McTominay. I never saw it
Yep.
coming from McTominay.
Very
And
calm
the
and
runs was
composed.
very intelligent. Yeah, very calm and composed. Second is, he was just out of the blues. You expected Pogba to make a run or Bruno or somebody, but suddenly McTominay comes in and he's a very professional style of finishing. Especially second goal, the way he sidestepped it was a very good goal. So he's coming to age, if you ask me. Maturity is kicking in for him.
All right. Okay, Selina, what do you think? We have a banter here from Selina. Paul Scholes, Steven G, Zidane, Fletcher, O'Shea. I just love the lost rate and Fletcher and O'Shea. Sina, don't forget, O'Shea scored a winning goal against you guys. Those times, I know you guys have memory lane problem, memory loss. I understand. But McT should be given the vice captaincy now itself. Okay. All right. And then he goes on to say, because of United's commercial direction that is parallel to footy performance, sadly, you never see Fred getting the armband. A change is needed in the club first. I stand corrected. Do you think so? Selina? Are we looking at commercial value bigger than the player's value? Was Solskjaer pleasured into the armband? And now, okay, we have seen how Gerard Houllier took the armband off from Semi Pierre and gave it to Steven G. And then you saw a new Liverpool being born. So, over and over, we have always been hearing that Maguire is not stepping up the game or reaching there. And we have now a Manchester-born player, an academy player, who has the hunger, passion, and drives as a United midfielder. Why can't he do the same? Why can't he? You're building a new team now around younger players. So why shouldn't he making a tough call? It could be the pressure on the armband is affecting Maguire's performance. Why can't you take it off and just pass it to Scott McTermany or make him the vice captain now?
But also the question, right? If you're gonna take out that captaincy, the armband from Maguire, is it gonna be? I mean, that's pressured for him, correct? But is he gonna accept that or not? It can also be the other way around where he can feel humiliated, like it's been taken away from him.
If in that case, it can be, but it will also depend on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial capabilities. It was done before by Liverpool. So why can't we replicate that?
Please don't say about cop talks and all. I just don't want it to be same. But anyway, like back to the question that you said. I think comparing to McTominay to be vice captain, I think why not we think about Bruno Fernandes? Why we've been talking about this from many months, right? Like, I feel he is more deserving than McTominay. Of course, I would agree, like how you said, from the academy player, the real playing for the badge and all that, it was there and all that, all this kind of thing. But I think for now, if you can see, I think Bruno deserves it more. If you're talking about vice, Bruno deserves it more than McTominay for me at this point of time. McTominay can be a potential future captain. That's I got no doubt on that. But back to the question is about commercials and all that. It's hard for me to judge on that because one thing is Maguire has this price tag thing, like he has been bought with that expensive amount, so it could be that one of the reason why they give it to him, and and he want him to like try to lead the teams and all that, which sometimes is fake, but sometimes also if you see recently he's also keep improving his game. But I wouldn't say all the time, but he do mistake and all this kind of thing as well, but he do improvise as well. But in terms of captaincy role, I still don't see him as the right candidate. So if can take it out, if it's okay for Ole to remove the armband, I would given it to Bruno Fernandes, and you can put McTominay as vice captain there.
Oh, right. Okay, we have a comment here from Sina. Of course, take it away here. Then realize only his football performance will talk. Now the captaincy of such a great football stage club is getting to his head. Performance affected. Bruno or Fred now? Bruno, yes, I agree. But Fred not there. Let's hope. But Kevin, I have a question for you. We've been talking about whether the captaincy should go to who or the vice captaincy. Selina has gone to say that it's based on performance, so we should give Bruno the vice captaincy. And she also mentioned that it's because of the price tag Maguire obtained the captaincy. Okay, now we have a question from Vijay here. What's the criteria to be captain or vice captain? As a Manchester United fan, all this while, how do you see the armbands being given?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think as a United fan, what I want from United's captain would definitely be someone along the lines of Bruno Fernandes. You know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you show it on field, outside the game, and that leadership quality will shine. And it's not just true to United fans, but to other fans as well, other footballing fans in general. And for example, this whole talk about Bruno Fernandes being a captain, right? It's not just being discussed between the United circle, but it's being discussed in series of podcasts, in general football shows and all that. So it goes a long way to show how much what qualities Bruno Fernandes has, and I think that one quality that shows is Bruno Fernandes' passion, that he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he shows it, whether it's right or wrong in the moment. He shows it, and he leads the team. So I think that's the criteria.
Okay, I have a quick question for you, Kevin. From Sinan, Harry Maguire was not ready for United's captaincy. He's a stupid fool, not quite a leader. What will Bruno think? Come on, stop backing Harry Maguire. Got to be objective and positive changes. Are we not being objective and by still lending the support to Maguire?
I think Maguire, he is captain, perhaps for several reasons, one of which may be connected to the price tag lah. I think we have to accept that. But objectively, Maguire should not be the captain, because, for example, there was this one game where I think it was MarSIAL, or he was red carded, right? He was, because he
MarSIAL,
sort of MarSIAL was red carded, and he was banned for several games, right? So there was video clips going around that went viral about how Maguire did not do anything during that whole commotion, and then you saw
Bruno then,
yeah, exactly. So I think it's little things like that you sort of take into account, and you somehow wonder, why is Maguire the captain, right? So the fact that we question Maguire's captaincy is the very fact that he is not fit to be captain.
All right.
I think that is it. Yep.
He doesn't have the
Okay.
command. He doesn't have the command.
I mean, it's a very interesting topic about captaincy. I think we can go on about this. Let's keep it for our next show and hope to see there's some changes. But let's move on straight away to one interesting revival that has been happening soon in Manchester United. Anthony MarSIAL. Has he been revived? Or is he still a liability? Or like once Dinesh quoted, MarSIAL. I mean, we have seen some good performance coming in from MarSIAL. He has been assisting, but he did a good performance against Everton, I would say. He came in and then he changed the course of the game. Against Leeds, he assisted some goals, but he missed some sitters too. So is he still the top striker there? Juhain, is he revived? Is he changed? Or is he a liability?
Yeah, I mean, so if we were to judge based on his last performance, where he played the full, or rather he started the game against Leeds, I would say there are definitely a lot of signs of improvement. Even in the first half, I mean, he had 2 assists, but on top of that, I think the amount of runs he made throughout the game, runs that may not have come out to an attacking opportunity or might not have led to a goal, but he was still committing to those runs and always making the defenders work. And I think after the game, Ole, there was a question asked to Ole at the post-match conference about MarSIAL's form, and he honestly said that he was quite happy with the amount of runs and the commitment that MarSIAL put in the last performance, and he's hoping that will be the standard barrier for MarSIAL. You know, he has to maintain that form. And like many other Man United fans, I have been quite frustrated with him. There were games where I felt like, oh my God, I mean, you just felt really frustrated with MarSIAL giving away the ball, and he had that body language that it did not look like he was interested or rather interested in committing towards finding for victory and all that. But you have to take into consideration
See,
that
body language is like that.
yeah, but you have to take into consideration that one match where he lost his head a bit and earned a well-deserved red card. I think that might have had an effect to his confidence. And slowly, I hope he does pick it up. In fact, against the game against Everton, when he came on in the second half, because we were crying out for more attacking options in the second half, and I thought first of all, he made the right choice in bringing in Rashford and MarSIAL because it was an attacking choice. And when his first touch, when he received the ball towards the defensive half, where Luke Shaw would normally be, his first pass was directly giving it away to the Everton attackers, and at that point, immediately my head dropped, and I'm like, my God, you come in knowing that we are chasing for a goal because at that time it was 0-0, and you go and make this mistake. But give him credit where it's due. He actually picked up his game after that. He played very well, and he got a well-deserved goal towards the 90th minute, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I mean, I would say let's give him some time to see if he improves.
Okay, Dinesh, what do you think? We have a comment here from Kavinesh. Thanks for watching, Kavinesh. MarSIAL has not, has not hit top form, but the good news is it can only get better. He got a couple of goals and few assists over the last 2 games. He just reached his milestone of 75 goals for the club. And wait, I have another comment on top of this. We have a comment from Sina. He's mentioned Cavani, the modern day Niswa as I call him, fit perfectly into Manchester United culture and club. So we have a call here who's mentioning Cavani is a perfect fit, and we have one that mentioning that MarSIAL is performing. And you have always come out and say that he's one of that rules that we need to remove. So do you still agree to that, or MarSIAL just need time?
I'm never going to waver from that anyway, because you see, Anthony Martial, they say he lost his form, he need to rediscover his form. But is he the player? Is he the top? Even if he's a top striker for the team, and with the goal returns like that, then you know how bad the team is. If you ask me, Martial, he has a lot of potential. He has a lot of good footworks. I mean, on a debut game, he impressed us against Liverpool. He scored a wonderful goal on his debut game. They were questioning whether it's worth that 50-60 million we paid for him. So in that game, he was doing well. So if you ask me, a player like him, who's a top striker, he has to be giving us goal week in, week out. If Jamie Vardy or maybe another strikers, a lot of strikers are there in the Premier League right now, playing as the big impact players for their clubs. And if they can perform, what is stopping Anthony Martial from doing that? I'm not asking him to play in the midfield and give us goals. I'm putting him right in front of the goal, the other side, and give us goals. So what is so hard? Second thing is, if you're a team player, when you lose the ball, you start chasing back. All right. Unless you're gifted as Berbatov, where you get the ball, you can do magic, is okay. But always I notice he gives me the impression that he's a Berba wannabe. But I think he start being a Carlos Tevez supposed to be. He's supposed to be chasing for the balls when he lose the ball. He always have this, that I cannot. Why did I miss that? He goes back to that, that dreaming state. Oh, why I should have done that. He gives you that impression. He's not that 11th player which can count to run back and defend back the ball. If top strikers can do that, what makes him another exceptional or what? Cristiano Ronaldo misses a chance, he comes back and defends. Leo Messi also comes back and defends. Defends the team back. But Martial is always a lazy body figure he has. So if you ask me, he has to change his attitude. He got to be more proactive in the game. Don't go missing in the other side of on the pitch. Go missing there. And the other thing, if you're a striker, you got no excuses to go form out, form in. Of course, there are strikers who lose their form. I totally agree with that. But you see, this has been a couple of years. How many more years do you need to recapture your form? Even when he played for France also in the Nations League, I think the last round of friendly matches, he was missing glorious chances. If not for Griezmann, France would have been drawing or losing games. So the problem with him is just not with the club. His natural ability is very limited. So if you ask me, he is a utility striker, not the main striker. And like what Sina said, Cavani should be the one leading the very, very squad of United right now. He has the experience. He's about 32 or maybe 33. He has the age. He has the legs to run. He should be the one leading the team. And with Rashford and Greenwood, I see Rashford and Greenwood are more proactive than Anthony MarSIAL. So maybe MarSIAL should be the second half substitute player who you need to score a equalizing goal or search for a winning goal. That is what MarSIAL should be right now until he can prove that he's a good 90-minute workaholic hardcore player. That's what MarSIAL needs to do.
But Dinesh,
Yeah.
you look here. Greenwood did not get into attacking position. He did not contribute anything.
No, against Everton, he was doing a lot of attacking. He was actually drawing the defenders away. In the first half, I was watching the game. He was drawing the defenders away, and he was giving Cavani more space. So at least he is being a threat to Everton. That's why Everton had 3 defenders parked with him. So you ask me, I mean, like Greenwood had. He's a young boy. He just broke into the first team squad last season, and he already had double figures. All right. Come this season, he's still an impact player for us. We still need him. He has the moves. He has the body language. He's not. I mean, you don't get that passive
Okay.
feeling when he's Greenwood.
Dinesh,
Yeah.
you said Martial's supposed to come in as a sub, but we have a comment here from Cougar mentioned Martial is not a winner. You cannot put him second half. He should start. Are we telling he doesn't have the hunger to win games? So when you bring him as a sub, he will not run for it.
Actually, I was just being kind of putting him in second half. I was just being kind. Because to be honest, I would, you know what I would do? If the money we have in United is a lot, please loan him out. Okay, loan him out to a team where he has to work hard. Come in United, a lot of people doing the hard work. So this guy is taking a laid back attitude. All right.
Okay, he's taking a laid back attitude, but you have been always going on with Ole in, Ole in, Ole in, all the way Ole. But Ole doesn't seem to have the attitude of Martial out. Despite a poor game against Leeds, who Rashford was doing all the running on the flanks, he moved Martial to the flank. And immediately United's attacking threat reduced.
Well,
It seems to be he's the fanboy of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
yeah, okay.
So
Maybe you have a
it's-
point there. You have a point there, but maybe I can look at a different angle where we have Edison Cavani, who's maybe not fully match fit. Has not played for about many months. So maybe let's wait for Cavani to hit the top form back. Maybe what I say might happen where MarSIAL comes as an impact player rather than a starting player. We wouldn't know. Let's see.
Alright. Kevin, what do you think? I mean, we have a comment here from Kabinesh who mentions that Martial is definitely the most frustrating player as his talent's enormous, but he shows probably about 70% of this week in and week out, a bit like Nani. Do you think so? Do you think that he has been frustrating to you, or he has been giving results for you? In your perspective.
I think So I think to start of the season, he was definitely a bit rocky, and then he go and get himself banned unnecessarily. But I think recently coming back, I think I might sidetrack away from what Dinesh is saying. He's actually putting in pretty good performances. He's holding up the play, he's connecting players. Whenever he gets the ball, you expect MarSIAL to beat a player or two. And on top of that, he's scoring. Although not as much as I would like, but he's scoring. So, yes, MarSIAL is a good player to me, but
Okay,
it can be frustrating at
I want you
times.
to take this up also. Hi Dave, nice having you on the show, man. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, lads. Instead of demanding goals from him, what if Ole switches him to consistent creator? Do you see him as a creator, moving down the flanks, assisting Cavani, or being just right at the top there?
Yeah, so I think, but the way Ole plays his team now, from how I look at it, is MarSIAL is sort of playing a false 9 position. So in terms of creating, yes, I think he performs more as a creator instead of a goal scorer. And the way United is playing, when MarSIAL is in the team at least, they're not really looking at MarSIAL to score the goals. And when that's why I think having Cavani in the team, an out number 9 striker, sort of changes the game. So first half we could play with MarSIAL, and then second half we could play with Cavani and have 2 different gameplay each halves. Yeah, so I think yes, I think MarSIAL is better as a creator rather than a goal scorer.
Alright. Duhain, we have two contradicting statements here. One from Dinesh, who once mentioned MarSIAL is not doing enough. Kevin has mentioned he's doing enough, but he's playing more of a false nine role. And there's also a comment from Vijay here mentioned, what is MarSIAL's best position or attribute? Is he similar as Henry or Viltot? We always know these two hasn't been an out and out striker too. So is MarSIAL one of those? Or he's just lucky to have players making the runs around him? Or is he just another Nani?
Yeah, I'm actually not quite sure because the thing that from my thought process, I initially thought that he would be better on the wings rather than being as the lone man on top. But having said that, during the restart towards the end of last season, post-COVID, as in post-COVID restart, and we had a brilliant run of games that propelled us to third position. MarSIAL primarily played as the lone top man up front, and not to say that he was scoring banging goals week in, week out, but I thought it worked well with the whole team. But at the same time, I totally agree with Dinesh that if you were to look at what are the expectations of a striker, a centre forward up front, you have to put that particular standards to a striker whereby they are expected to score goals week in, week out. And MarSIAL, to be honest, I don't feel that's part of his skill set. What I see, what stands out most as part of his skill set is that link-up play that he has with players. So and he has got. I mean, when he hits form and when he goes into form, he has got really good finishing. We've seen those one-off goals where he shoots from outside of the box and it ends up at the top corner. He has that in his locker, but it's not coming in consistently. But I would have to say that he's like he contributes towards assisting and link-up plays as well as finishing. But then again, to a certain extent, I do agree with Dinesh. It's quite frustrating whenever he goes out of form. Then it's not just that his finishing goes out of the window, but even his work rate and the body language and the fact that he doesn't run back and put in the committed runs, and that's a strict no for a team, a United team. Yep.
Just to
Yeah,
add
go
on,
ahead, Dinesh.
I mean, I have a certain stat here. I got appearance of MarSIAL was 154 in the Premier League thus far. He has 52 goals and 26 assists. Okay, if you are a striker for a top club and you're a top striker, you got to be prolific. So that rate of goals and assists is not really encouraging. That is not encouraging.
I mean, yeah, Dinesh, you see, we have Sina has came out to here and said, I like the kid sometimes back, but up and down consistency is the key. Sorry, but who do you match MarSIAL against in the history of United in the front? United's front big names, consistency was the key. This goes back with your stats too. There seems to be no consistency with Anthony Martial. You don't get the goals in and week out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the Leeds game. Imagine if the score was 0-0 and the 3 chances that he had, 1-1 with the keepers. That's the chances that you expect top strikers to score.
Correct.
So in your regards, what do you think? Do you think where would you rate him between Manchester greats? Is he there, or the boy will never be there?
He's not there, but I will never say he's never to be there because he's a young guy. He has the potential. I'm not saying that he's a washout. He's not that bad of thing, but he has to put his head to where he's supposed to be. You're a high earning player. Let's man up and earn your wages. If you're supposed to be scoring goals, then keep scoring. And he's the part of MarSIAL is he has some wonderful skills. I don't deny that. He has some wonderful skills. Look at the great players like Ruud van Nistelrooy. He might not be silky or skillful, but when you give him a task in the penalty box, that guy is going to put you to bed. Okay, that's how good Van Nistelrooy was. So MarSIAL has that the skills. He has the vision, but he's just not making it to full use on his 90-minute game. That's all. The thing is, if he can get back his mojo, he'll be a very good player. Rashford, MarSIAL, and Greenwood would be another MSN if MarSIAL actually clicks with the other two.
Okay. So now, let's have a last one before I move on. Dinesh has came out with some stats. He's not being consistent. But Kabinesh has came out and countered that. We have to be fair to MarSIAL as he was managed by Luis van Gaal and Mourinho, who probably did not get the best out of him. So are we seeing the best out of him only now and we have to be patient with him? Or basically this boy is just inconsistent?
Yeah, for me, it's just up to him. It's not only on the manager. Even I think during Mourinho time also, he do still start scoring goals and all that also, but he's just not consistent. For me, the problem with Martial is his body language sometimes is making us frustration, because like how you said just now, if the games against Leeds we were down with no goals and you missed the 3 goals that Martial had, how frustrating it is. And then with the looking at him being lazy on the field most of the time, this is what happens usually with Martial. He's always lazy on the field. So that's the thing. That's how we judge him being a failure to United sometimes back, and then that's when suddenly he like come up back and then he's trying to like revamp and all that. So he came and he was scoring goals. He's trying to come back to where he lost before. I can see he's improving. But for me, back to the question that you say, it is all on him, is inconsistency. But again, like how you said, he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's boy, right? So he's always be in the first 11 usually. So I think knowing that he has that privilege to be there, he should have taken up his chances. He should have made good chances of that. For me, one of the problem with him is also he has to be clinical in finishing as well. Most of the problems that he had is the finishing is really, really poor. We don't talk about passing and all that, but his finishing is really, really poor. Like, he could have done it, but even as open, like Sitter also, he just missed it, So if he could have fixed that, he can improvise it, which is we can see it as improvisations and all that. But if he can continue doing this, I think he would
All right,
be
just
one of our
taking
great
this
players.
to your comment.
One more thing, just one more thing,
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm seeing Martial, what I'm expecting Martial is this. We play the fantasy league. I put Calvert Lewin. I know I'm going to get some points this week. All right. I put Harry Kane. I know I'm going to get some points this week. But do you have the same confidence you put Martial that you're going to get some points? Let's not be United fans. Let's be football fans. I'm playing fantasy league. I'm putting Martial up there. Do you really think that okay, I'm going to get 5 points from Martial today? I'm going to get an assist or a goal. Do you have the confidence? If you have the confidence, then maybe I'm wrong. I put my hands up and say yes, I'm wrong. So let him come to the. You see, Harry Kane or even Vardy are not as gifted as Martial's ball control. All right, but they are scoring.
Dinesh, this is for you. Okay. All right. See, I'm just going to butt in here and move to this topic with keeping Anthony Martial still in mind. We have mixed comments here from all of y'all that Martial is performing, Martial is not performing. So January transfer window is coming. I'm just going to answer one question. Do we need to ship out Anthony Martial or keep him?
We keep him.
Keep him. I also would say
We'll keep him.
But okay, Kevin, Duhain, keep him.
Yeah, I'm for Martial in. Yeah, but I do have questions for him, and I agree with
Martial
Dinesh.
in.
He has to answer those questions that we have as fans. Yeah.
What will be those questions?
The goal scoring return is quite simple. I mean, if you're being told to play as a striker or as a centre forward, as an attacking player, you need to improve your statistics. Whatever your current returns with the club is simply not good enough. Not good enough for a starting United player. Maybe good enough for an impact player or for a League Cup or FA Cup player. But he has to improve. He has to be more clinical. Some of the sitters that he has missed this season are unforgivable. Like you cannot accept that for United standards.
All right. So,
Yeah.
as a United standards, who do you see that United should go and sign? Which areas we need to improve in this January transfer market?
Sorry, the question was for me.
Yes, for you.
All right, definitely a centre back, a pacey centre back. I'd like to just echo something that Kevin said earlier in the show, or earlier in our session today. As much as I like Eric Bailly, I think he has that in his locker, the pace, the extremely good pace that matches most of the centre halves in the league. He can keep up with that pace. He has got the recovery speed power to chase back strikers who might have gotten through. But I just do not have faith in his injury record. I don't think Eric Bailly has that consistency of telling us fans that I'm going to stay injury free this whole season. He has yet to show that. Ever since Mourinho brought him in, I at that time I thought it was a really good buy because he gave me the impression that he's a no nonsense defender. gave me the impression that if there were a 50-50 challenge, he will definitely not pull out. Sorry about that. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not convinced with his injury record, and as much as I hate to say this, I think we need a centre back with pace and with the ability to give us fans believe that he's going to stay injury free for seasons. Yeah, that is what I'll be looking for.
Okay, so if you were at Woodward, you're looking for someone pacey, who's the player that you go for?
It felt like an insult to compare me to Ed Woodward, but yeah, I don't quite like Ed Woodward. I'm sure a lot of us United fans would probably share that sentiment.
That's why I
I'm
said
not
if
sure why
you were
you
at
brought up.
Woodward.
I'm not sure why you brought up his name in this show. Like, felt like we were going quite well. This probably might be my last show then. But anyway, sorry, that was just a joke. I don't know. I think the thing is, it's very hard to get players. That's the impression I'm getting from United. I mean, all of us know as well that elongated saga about getting Jadon Sancho that never happened. So I have this impression that it's not as easy as people or as the club let us, because the club always comes up with statements saying that everyone wants to play for United. I beg to differ. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more complicated than that. So it really depends on who is available. I know, like, for the past few weeks, there's been a lot of talk about this Ecuadorian defender called Caicedo, and apparently he has got bags of pace in his locker.
But he's a midfielder, right? Defensive midfielder.
Oh, then I
He's a
must
defensive
have read
midfielder, yeah.
wrongly, because the impression I've got, like, from other talk shows, is that he can play the centre back role. But anyway, I'm not specifically sure like who we should sign at the moment. I've never really given it much thought. Obviously, in an ideal world where we are not bound by contracts and all, go for the best. Go for Rafael Varane. Go for centre backs that have got bags of pace. I would actually even think that a lot of people might not agree with this. That centre back, Davinson Sanchez at Tottenham. I know that he has fallen out of the pecking order with Mourinho's Tottenham. If there is an opportunity to get him, I think he might be a good, but he has got bags of pace in his locker. Yeah.
Juhain, sorry, Kevin, what's your thought? Who should we go on to get?
Completely in the same page with Dwayne there. Definitely centre back. I was just before the show, I was curious as to how our defense is doing in comparison to other teams in the league, right? So, sorry, just to add on a bit on why I'm saying centre back, right? So I googled the menu stats for goals conceded, right? So United defense conceded 21 goals, kept 3 clean sheets, right? In comparison to Sheffield United, who is bottom of the league, they conceded 25 goals and 0 clean sheets. So we are not too far away, right? So I think in terms of we are sort of winning games where our attack is surviving us, right? In comparison to Liverpool, who's at the top, they've kept 4 clean sheets with only 19 goals conceded. And just to add on, our game later with Leicester has conceded only 17 goals, right? So it's very fine margin at the top. So I think our defense, which I think Maguire is one half done. The other half is being a pacey centre back, and that pacey centre back, considering the player situation at the moment, I'm hoping that Ed Woodward would sanction Upamecano or David Alaba.
Okay, Kevin, we have a comment from Vijay here. Vidic was one of the best centre back. He did not have much pace too. I mean, Vidic, we all know, is all about positioning and controlling the back line. So, but now we are all talking about pace. But we have that pace with Wan-Bissaka or with Shaw or Teres. So, are we going for the right one, or is it just basically your defense, the coaches there who are not doing a good job? Because when you take them out individually, Lindelof was good in Benfica. Bailey was impressive with Villarreal. Maguire, plus minus, he did an okay job with Leicester. But when these guys come to United, you don't see that. So is it just going for another big name? Because we do have issues when players come to United, big signings, we overkill the price, and we just get ripped off. So Upamecano, would he be a proper buy because he was also destroyed by Manchester front three, the 5-0?
Yeah, so
Or
I
should
think
you
sorry,
or should
sorry.
United just go for? Remember once when they were doing very bad, Fergie just went and bought Laurent Blanc. Was like 35 years old. He just needed to instill some leadership at the back four, and he stabilized the defense. Is that what is lacking with the defense, or is it just pace, or is it just leadership quality at the back four?
I think it's a mixture of the things that you brought up a really good point there, Vinod. And just going back to what VJ commented, Vidic was brought in and he didn't have much pace, and Vidic was brought in for 7 million,
Yeah.
and he went on to be club legend. So I think it boils down to how teams in the Premier League are playing at the moment. Most, if not all, strikers I feel is they are geared towards pace, 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 right? Um, and the way the Premier League teams are playing at the moment of ball playing defenders playing from the back, that seems to be the main focus now to push the game forward. So where I see United's backline is lacking, at least it's someone that can supplement Maguire, who is good aerially, who's good physically, but who's also able to bring the ball forward, which I think that was the aim, bringing Lindelof in, because that was what he was in Benfica. But coming to Man United, it just didn't show. And I think your point, Vinod, about the leadership at the back line, I think that could play a factor as well.
Dinesh, do you concur with Duhain and Kevin that it's centre back where Manchester needs to go and sign? Or do we have sufficient talent at the back and we should be focusing on elsewhere?
We actually have sufficient talent where we have Bailly and Tuanzebe, but like what we need is fully fit players who are always available. So in that part, Bailly and Tuanzebe are quite inconsistent with that. So I feel that we should go for David Alaba. He's on a free. He be a superb signing because the guy's left leg is wicked.
But
He
David
has-
Alaba is only free come summer.
Yeah, and no worries. But it's United. We got the money to buy. Let's buy. It's okay. We got to buy. We got to buy. Because
Yeah,
why?
we can
Come
spend 80
summer,
million
Man
so
City, Real Madrid are going to chase him. We know that. Man City is already preparing an offer for him. Real Madrid is preparing an offer for him. So why do you want to go and sit down and do 1-2 juice with them? Let's do it now. We got the money.
I mean,
Let's.
okay, we got the money. We've been throwing monies, but there's not been any results. So why can't you just use back your academy players like Fosu Mensah, convert him to a centre back?
No, the thing, is the thing is the three players you mentioned, that's Fosu Mensah, Tuanzebe, and also Eric Bailly, they are just superb but injury prone. So again, the even though their game is good, we can up them to play in the first 11, but they do not have a track record where they can be fit for at least 10 straight games. I've never seen that.
We have a comment from Vijay here. So, Wan Bissaka can be converted into centre back. Do you think he's fit for a centre back?
Yeah, I mean, he's a workhorse. He is a workhorse. He has good tackles, but the thing is, does he have that mindset to partner Maguire in the middle? How does he know what's the style of playing? It might take time to adapt. I feel it will take time to adapt. But not only the centre back part of it. I mean, I was going through a list of three players we have come this summer.
Yeah.
It's not centre back. I see another potential good player we can sign is Drexler. Julian Drexler.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a class player. Germany's good top young player, just being misused in PSG. If we can get maybe a Alaba or a Drexler in the squad, it will just give us more depth in the squad. I feel that because if you're going to go for Sancho, you're going to spend 200 million, 100 million plus, whatever not. Drexler is not a pushover. He is a good player, and he's not that
Okay.
old.
So, But
Yeah.
we are talking. So in January, you're telling go all the way for David Alaba,
Yeah.
one MarSIAL signings would
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, would do.
Selena, do you think so? David Alaba is
Yeah,
sufficient,
I think for
or
January,
you are
yeah, I
thinking
think we can
somewhere
just one
else?
for one. No, I think for January, right, like how I agree with Dinesh a second on that. I think for one player should be just enough for now. Yeah, centre back also actually even from beginning of the season, so we would keep talking about this particular position that need to be filled up. I would have also seconded Alaba also would be a good choice to fill up. But it's just that I would not fancy very big signing because I feel like when you buy a big signing, I don't know, in United, you sometimes it end up in flop. So and that's one thing that I hope that we don't do the same mistake again. But anyway, anything can happen. Let's just see how. But yeah, centre back is one place that I feel that we need to get fixed first.
Okay. You mentioned that big signings get flop, but is it also making the right signings? We have seen one signing that United pending for, I would say, just waiting for his permit to pass. Ahmad Diallo.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It's almost 40 million that we are splashing on an unknown player who hasn't even got minutes in Serie A.
Yeah,
Is it another panic buy from Manchester United?
No,
I I
it's not.
would I would but he will not play in the first 11 for sure because he will be under 23, right? So I think with that
Then
amount of money,
why do
but
you
again,
splash
but
that
again,
amount
like
of money?
how Duhan said, how Duhan said, we can just throw money now, right? So I think money is not an issue for United also. So I think I don't see that as a problem for last time you used to talk about this, this price tag. Why are we buying so much and all that? But now I think it comes to a situation we don't really care about the money. If you can get the right player in, who can actually help us in terms of building the teams, I think yeah, why not?
Okay, if you're telling that case, no offense to anyone who's sent, United fans has been jumping on Chelsea buying titles, Man City buying titles. So what is United? United is trying to do the same way.
Not, not at all, bro. Because Chelsea and City are owned by the rich Arabians and also the Russians. We are owned by money swindling Americans, and we're still spending money. So that means we are big. We are big, And the thing is, you see, like Diallo, we said 40 million. You think it's overpriced because he does not have minutes. But trust me, this is like a game of poker. You just don't know. Maybe your luck is good. You just place your bet on it because the guy has talents. I mean, of course, no club is going to pay that much money. They see some talent in him. Buying him now, keeping him for 5 years, performing well, get a big buyout clause, sell him off. Even Cristiano Ronaldo was not a great young player. He was just skillful, curly hair, and that's about it. He played well against United. Rio Ferdinand begged Fergie to go and sign him. Come on, this guy is good. And Fergie just signed him. It's not like he had a track record of goal scoring like no one's business. 12 million that time was a big money. They signed him, and the rest is, of course, history. One of the greatest players of the generation. So,
But
this,
Cristiano Ronaldo had a good season with Sporting still. He was still playing. He still had minutes in the league. Yes.
no, totally
So,
understand.
uh,
But this Ahmad Diallo, I mean, I've seen his videos on YouTube and all that. Of course, you always get the good part of the game from him in the YouTube. But I just feel that this guy can be promising. He can be promising because, I mean, Ole has made signings
if you're
since the
talking about
beginning.
YouTube, let's not forget about
Okay,
Bebe.
Bebe,
Uh,
who's Bebe? One the
Yeah,
Ferguson didn't know about him. Actually,
oh,
suddenly
correct,
yes.
yeah.
yeah, but the thing is, uh, I believe that it's not a panic buy because if not for summer, we could have signed him in January, so it's not a panic buy. I think there was an intention there. We just have to wait for him to come and let's see how it goes.
Okay. Before that, a shout out to Parameshwaran Nair. Hi. Etta, nice for watching the show. Good discussion. Real fan talks. Better than some pundits.
Oh no
Good
no
input,
no!
guys. Okay. I mean, since you talk about United has money, we have not been affected by the FFP exception. I think they've came out and said United seems not affected by FFP. Final the fair play. It's time to take advantage of that. But if you look at the last past 3 seasons, we have been taking advantage of that, signing big names. I mean, not to say big names, we have signed average players at big costs. So how do we avoid that? I mean, like how today we've been talking about Maguire, 80 million, Anthony Martial, not consistent, but the highest paid striker in the Premier League. You got those numbers there. Then you get 2 left backs there. So how do we avoid all these mistakes again? I mean, it's good like how we getting David Alaba. I'm sure Alaba is going to come in easily 300, 350. But then you got to decide you want to keep Maguire or Lindelof. And these two was also signed at a huge amount. No one's going to sign them back at half their price. Or should we just focus on the youths, on the academy players? There are some raw talents that are coming in. But if you don't give the raw talents game time, how are you going to bring it up? There's a reason why you have coaching team, back team. It's a part of the coaches to develop the players. It's just about getting the team right now. You've been always advocating for Tuanzebe. Yes, he has not been consistent, but because he has still not gotten the game week in and week out. So instead of going for David Alaba or anyone in this transfer window, why not go for him?
The thing is, we are lacking game time for Tuanzebe. I agree with that, but I think we need some experience at the back. You know, I think if you compare Maguire and Alaba's experience is immense. 400 plus games to 500 for Bayern Munich, a key player for Bayern Munich. We need that type of experience at the back. You know, a level-headed player who can guide the team during the ups and downs. I don't see that in Maguire. He's a good centre back at Leicester. Yes, the price tag got to him, and his game just dropped very badly at United. But if you bring Alaba in, I think it brings that back line to a place where they have somebody to look out. You know, if Tuanzebe or Wan-Bissaka wants to get some help or some pointers, they can go back to Alaba because the guy has it in his locker. He can give some good tips. He's experienced there. That's like how Cavani. Now we have strikers. We have Cavani. You know, his goal ratio is superb. So we need somebody where that particular defense needs to look up to. And when you can get a player on a free or you're going to pay him minimal signing fee, just go for it. Because but the Premier League is a big season. You know, we have Europa, we have a lot of injuries to think about. We have a lot of games coming in hot for us. We need a very deep squad here. That's why.
Okay. All right. Kevin, there is a comment here. I want to take it up from Sina. Panels, I thought about having faith, give chance, give time. Because the issues are internal and need time to fix. Suddenly go out and splash cash and buy. Contradicting, United need to solve within and solve code. Do you concur with this? That it's time to give faith or instead of just splashing the money?
I don't completely agree with this because, with no offense to the Senna, it's just that by giving faith to Tuanzebe, you know, we are putting immense pressure on for example, Fosu Mensah and Tuanzebe to carry the team. If in the event Lindelof or Maguire or Bailly, who will definitely get injured at some point of United season, immense pressure if they fail to carry the team, right? So going out in the January transfer window is not the reason is not to splash money or is to find a good signing within a reasonable budget to come in and as Dinesh said just now, to deepen the squad. I think that is the main reason to go to the January transfer window.
But okay, so we do have a bloated squad.
Yeah, you're right. So in terms of Deadwood, for example, we still have Phil Jones there. I've not seen him play, don't know, for ages. I don't know what he's doing in the United squad even, right? So yeah, but the problem is those bloated squad or the deadwood, we call it the deadwood that we have there, is not going to help us perform, and we need more people in.
Okay, Duhain, you have mentioned that we need to get a central defender. We have a comment here coming from Ramesh that we need good defensive midfielder. Our centre backs are too exposed. That's the reason they look shaky. We are playing counter-attacking game. That means we don't keep the ball. Our possession stats shows that. If they're going to play this way, we need good cover in midfield. McTominay and Fred are okay, but not consistent. Manu plays well. If they play well, if they can be consistent, then we'll do well this season. So, is it the midfield that needs to be covered instead of the two centre backs? Because the centre backs seem to be bloated. To be honest, we do have multiple choice there. Whether it's just matter about the player stays fit. But in midfield, you have 4 players there: Matip, Pogba, McTominay, and Fred. Should we just go for a good defensive midfielder?
Yeah, I think to echo what Paramis just said earlier, there is this school of thought also, and it's popular among United discussion threads out there. In fact, the United Stand, their talk show, they also brought it up, whereby we always wonder like what happened to Maguire. First of all, we always know that English players will always have a markup price. That's how the market works in football transfers. But there was a question like, why do we pay 80 million for someone who is not even proving to be a 50 million or 60 million signing? And we were wondering like, why is it like it's being exposed so badly that it was a very bad transfer? So there is this school of thought among fans that when he was in Leicester, primarily Maguire and Johnny Evans, that centre back pairing, most of the time they were protected by a brilliant defensive midfielder in Wilfred Ndidi. And if you are a stats guy, everyone will tell you that Wilfred Ndidi has got consistently season after season the highest number of interceptions. His defensive work rate is just commendable. And if you were to go along and follow those discussion threads, you can't say, you have to put your hands up and agree that, you know what, there is a valid point over there. He had really good central or rather defensive midfielders covering up the defensive pairing at Leicester. So maybe that would be a good point for us to go for someone who specializes in a defensive midfield position. Because as much as I like Fred, I like his work rate, I like the fact that he goes in and he does all the dirty work, the work that might not be so pleasant in the eye, will not make the YouTube highlight reel, but he does that work that needs to be done. I would say that he's not the best at that. There are definitely defensive midfielders who do that more efficiently and effectively and protect the centre back pairing in a better way and much more effective way. But having to choose between getting a defensive midfielder, I still would opt for getting a centre back with pace, with bags of pace. Someone like Bailly, but without an injury record. I think as much as I try to convince myself that Bailly might still be able to make it, he has been here for 3 seasons. It's really awful. There's no consistency in the injury record. It's something that I would not take the risk on. And Axel Tuanzebe, I know you have to give him the benefit of the doubt for him to stay longer to see. But I would still go with someone with bags of pace that has got a proven record, rather than to get a really good defensive midfielder. One main reason is because we're just a bit overcrowded in the midfield position. Yeah.
Okay. So you're still going for pace. But okay, Kevin, maybe you want to quickly take this up from Sina, who countered what you just mentioned, lifting and leading and carrying. Isn't that what you want to build to slowly? Isn't that kind of character lacking? That was what drove United to great heights. Work on them internally, you will reap benefits. Then he goes on to reply to Kabinesh. Kabinesh also did concur to you, Dinesh. Duhain, that our centre backs are shaky because they lack of pace. Then Sina goes on with Kabinesh, your centre backs will always be shaky when paired with Harry Mack, who is not focused on his game, instead focusing on living up to that armband, which he does not deserve internal problems again. So, should January transfer window be focused on repairing, solving the internal issues, or focus on getting players and marching on?
I think solving the internal issues is all season long, regardless whether there's a January transfer or transfer window or not, right? It needs to be done no matter what. But I think the aim of getting someone in the January transfer is so that we get quick fix, a sellotape against the cracks that is happening or that may happen. So to that, I think getting someone, as what Dwayne said, getting someone experienced who has a proven record to come in and potentially help Manchester United in the long season to go.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the next topic. But before that, let's wrap up our transfer window part. One name. Just give me one name from each of y'all. Who do y'all want? Who think should Manchester sign to solve whatever issue that's going on? Kevin?
Any player signing? Is it, sorry, Vinod?
Yes.
I'll go for Upamecano.
Upamecano. Selena?
I'll go for Alaba just now. I already said.
Alaba. Dinesh? Alaba too.
Yes.
Duhain?
Yeah, I follow Kevin's suggestion. I think that would be, in my opinion, I would definitely go for Upamecano.
Okay. So we have, let's see, Alaba or Upamecano, who's coming in? Okay, let's pump up the whole week. I mean, this is the focus of the week, right? This week, against the Foxes, Manchester United versus Leicester City. We are going away. So what's the thought about it? Do we have enough fire, enough strength, sufficient to take on Leicester, who shocked Spurs last week? Spurs was just nowhere near to handle Vardy and the gang. Sina, do we have enough? Or we might go, we have to be cautious.
This is I don't want to carry away with our performances before, but also we have to judge based on their previous performances as well, right? But somehow I feel because this both teams are in fighting for the second positions, not say fighting like, that both of them will be there, right? So it's going to be a tough game, but I am sorry, but I am going for, I don't know, I'm a bit skeptical about this, but if possible, I want United to win, of course, because we're playing home as well, and we should grab the chances to win as well. But with Vardy all inside there, I'm a bit scared. So yeah, can I give my prediction now itself, or
No.
right?
You just give
No.
me how you think the game is going to play, or how Ole is going to come out. How you think Ole is going to play off this game? Because it seemed he has surprisingly played 4 different types of game for the last 4 matches. We have seen against City, Sheffield, Leeds, and Everton. So how do you think he's going to come up against Brendan Rodgers?
He might just surprise us again. Okay, I don't know. I somehow I don't know. I have so much of faith on him. This is one of the game. This is actually, would you say it's a decision-making game or what? I'm not so sure how do I say it, but it's a chance for us. If we win, we go number 2nd, right? So if he could have taken the chances, he know how important this is. Even though we're still in the early matches, right? But if you could have taken the chances, that at least you know that this is very important. But I'm also worried on the other side from Leicester because they are also good. They are also performing. So I don't want to put high hopes on this, but I feel that we could still do something for this, and I feel positive on this game based on our previous performances.
All right. Dinesh, what about you? Enough to go there? Are we going to see a back 3, back 5, flat 4?
If you ask me, I would rather go with the same team which played against Everton, because those 11 actually deserve to start today. Of course, the keeper is a subjective matter, whether it's David De Gea or Dean Henderson. But the first 11 against Everton will definitely do the trick against Leicester. Not to forget, of course, we have Jamie Vardy there. But if Bailly is playing and Bailly is going to be a 100% beast mode, then we can take Vardy out of the equation today.
But if you mentioning that you want the same lineup as the Everton game,
Yeah.
can Matip and Pogba handle Madison, Tillmans, and Didi? Those are pacey players. And this, we know Pogba, he's good with his ball, but not when someone keep pressuring him, he does do mistakes.
But the thing is, Pogba has been having a good run recently. I mean, the last couple of games he started, he's giving back the positive vibes. He's running the show. So I think yeah, they can do it. They can do it with Bruno and Pogba there. They shouldn't be a problem if you ask me. But the problem would be if one of them decide to do showboating and not be a team player in the middle. That's all. Minus that, you will not see any hiccups there.
So you're going for the same formation that came out on
Everton.
Wednesday Everton game at Goodison Park. Tuhin, do you concur that, or do you feel that having Matic and Pogba in the middle is able to handle the Foxes?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ole is going to put out. That's something that the fans will all agree. Predicting Ole's lineup is a bit difficult. He constantly changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works well. The Everton game, despite 9 changes, it actually worked really well. So again, hashtag Ole in. But I would say that for me personally, thinking about Vardy, of course, being the prolific striker that he is, and then considering Tielemans, Jimmy Madison, and Didi, especially Tielemans and Jimmy Madison, I would actually go with the two sitting midfielders again, whereby McTominay also take up the role of sitting and box-to-box midfielder. I think that setup worked well against Leeds. Again, Leeds are and as everyone has pointed out very clearly, that they are quite stubborn in the way that they want to play an open game and attacking game. And Leicester will
what we have from the mentioned Vardy and Madison is a danger that we need to take care of. Keep them quiet and we'll win the game. You agree on this, or you feel that they are not attacking threats?
Definitely, those two are significant dangers, but you can't just put it down. I mean, Tielemans is there. There are attacking threats also that we need to be aware of. I would go with the McTominay, Fred pivot, and Bruno as an attacking midfielder.
Okay.
Than what we did against Everton. Just to show them some. I wouldn't say to respect them, but to acknowledge that we defensively we have to be a bit compact. And I think having Pogba from the bench, or Van de Beek from the bench, if they would come in at the correct timing, if we need a goal, it will probably work in our favor. It can be an impact substitution. That's just my school of thought. As for the centre-back pairing, I give up. I would like Bailly to start. I would like for us to play how we played against Everton, whereby our defensive line could be so high up, knowing that Bailly will compensate for the fact that if a ball breaks through or goes through, he will be able to recover and take it back. But knowing Ole, we are going to be playing with Lindelof and Maguire, and it's going to be a very low-line centre-back pairing, and they will not go up the pitch. So, yeah, that's about it, I guess.
I mean, you have a comment from Vijay. Maguire is worth 80 million. Why is Vardy too big to handle for him? I mean, see, they used to train together at Leicester, teammates. Can't we keep him in the pocket? Can Maguire keep Vardy in his pocket?
Vardy will keep Maguire in the pocket.
Dinesh,
you got to say something about that.
Dinesh, you have to have some faith in your captain.
Hey, Dinesh,
He will prove you wrong today.
Keep talking about Maguire. He will do wonders today.
I rest my case. We will continue next week on that.
Kevin, what about you? Do you think it's sufficient? Is it Madison and Vardy is what United need to be worried about, or United need to be worried about United themselves?
That's a really good question. Yeah. United definitely needs to worry about themselves in terms of defensive responsibilities. But my two main area of concern: number one, Leicester is good defensively according to their stats. They've only conceded 17 goals. So I'm just hopeful that our attack can do their job today. That's number one. Number two, the concern is at the defense, right? So with Vardy's pace, and I think I just saw the United stands tweet. It seems that Lindelof and Maguire is going to start today. So we might be seeing a counter-attacking football today. So just hoping our defense do not break down. And I think in terms of midfield, if we have Fred and McTominay there, I think we stand a good chance.
Okay, so we stand good chance. Selina, do you think we stand a good chance? because Leicester has been inconsistent this season too at home. Cabinet just came out and said that Leicester have been inconsistent this season. I believe only 3 wins from 7 at home. They have a good chance. Yes, they have been quite poor at home. Manchester United has been amazing away. So, would this overconfidence kill? Would they go in thinking that the game is won even before being played?
That's one thing I hope they don't do this. You know, like to be overconfident because of what they have been performing previously. If possible, I just want them to just go and do all out how they can in all possible matches. But for these matches, I just hope that's one thing. I don't want them to be overconfident. Just do what they can. If they can hold body, not like how Dinesh said, like, you know, like body hold Maguire, definitely not in that case. But you know, if we can hold body and we can actually break through their defensive, that will be a good thing for us. And I don't know if because okay, you know, remember we had the cases where they considered goal first and then we did the comeback. And also there's previous game also we did the early goals and all that, right? So I don't know how to judge on that. If they're going to score first and we're going to do the counter attacking and then, you know, to come back, that will be great as well. But provided they have to lah. The game that we play against Everton, it seems promising. It seems good. So if we can come with that, it will be good. But we should win lah. I really want us to win lah, actually.
Okay, yes, winning is one, but let's be very objective. You want to keep. How do you think Ole is going to come to the game to keep Vardy quiet? Even the so-called Mourinho couldn't keep Vardy quiet, and they got affected with that. So if United is going to come and sit down and rely on counter-attacking game against Leicester, I mean, it's going to backfire. Leicester also plays good counter-attacking football, and they have pacey players there.
Yeah, but then if you're gonna say that, I don't want to compare about Spurs because you know Mourinho is being Mourinho. He always have to blame others and all that. So I don't want to say about that. But for this game, I somehow feel that Ole will have come with a plan where he knows that this is very important for us as well. Then he will make sure that he come with a plan lah. So I don't know how, like I'm not sure if you said I don't know if something can be done, if Wadi can be whole. I think that will be a biggest achievement for us already lah.
Okay. So guys, a quick one. Prediction. Let's start off, Kevin.
I'm going to be positive and I'm going to say 3-2.
Okay, I'm going to tweak it to. I'm going to tweak it today. You give me a expected lineup.
Okay.
Your score and your goal scorers.
Okay, I'm just going to go briefly for expected lineup lah. So I think I've seen the tweet. So I think for defensive pairing it will be Lindelof, Maguire. Defensive Fred, McTominay. We have, of course, Bruno is going to be in. Rashford. And I'm thinking against Leicester, MarSIAL will still play. And Greenwood on the right. Score is 3-2 to United. Being positive here. 3, Bruno Fernandes to score 2, 1 from Rashford.
Both in your fantasy league?
I do not have fantasy league.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. So 2-0 down and come back, or
2-0 down and come back, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Selena, that's a high hope. Okay, Selena, what about you?
I don't know. I was a bit skeptical about this, right? I don't know if somehow it might go to draw, or it might just be a very narrow win. It could be just 1-0 or just 2-1. I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical on this lah, but I just hope that United will win, or they might just go on draw.
But who you think should be starting to achieve this result?
I would love to see Cavani. I don't want to talk about the rest lah, but I would love to see Cavani there. The rest, I think Ole can just maintain as how it is play against Everton.
So your two goal scorers. Your goal
scorers. I don't have fantasy.
Okay.
Okay. My scorer, I think I'm going for Bruno.
Okay, Bruno. Okay, we have some comment here before I go to Dinesh. Kabinesh came out said United
Oh,
4,
wow.
Leicester 2. MarSIAL to score a hat-trick. Wow.
It might happen.
Any-
It might happen. You never know.
So, and then we have one from Sina. Okay lah, United wins 2-1. Harry, Mac, and wow. One Biscal scoring. Sina, I know holiday season. I think you're drinking too much. Sober down. Wadi gets 2 penalties, 1 overturned by VAR, 1 converted. Last minute, Wadi hits the bar. Referee blows a whistle 30
Wow, this
seconds.
one really,
Short of time.
really mabuk lah.
He had a
This
nightmare, I
one-
think.
I think he's still lost in conscious.
Captain.
Dinesh, what
Yep.
about you? What's your score?
It'll be a 3-1 United. It'll be 1-1 at halftime. United will come out all blazing in second half. They need a pump up. Scott McTominay and Fred hopefully should start today. Two on top, if you ask me, is Cavani and either Cavani Rashford or Cavani and Greenwood.
So Diamond starts out, is it?
Yeah.
Diamond.
As I told you before, I don't care about his diamond goal and all that, bro. Just put that formation in. It's a 4-4-2, 4-3-1-2. It's okay. Just make sure the guys in the attack justify themselves, the guy in defense justify themselves, the midfield justify themselves. Because the formation is just an I don't know what to say. It's just a term only, if you ask me. Because you can play 5 at the back or you can play 6 in the midfield, but if you don't do your job, then there's no point of you having the so-called formation. But for me, if you ask me, I want those two guys to be on top because those are workhorses. Cavani and Rashford, or Cavani and Greenwood, either one of them. But we need 4 in midfield. We need creativity. We need Pogba and Bruno to sync. We need Scott and Fred to shield the defense. And I hope it's a Bailly, Maguire, Talas, and also AWB in the back.
Okay. 3-1.
My scorers would be Bruno on the double, maybe the third one an assist for maybe Cavani, and Vardy will score for Leicester. Don't worry, they are in my fantasy.
Oh, I thought your 3 is MarSIAL hat-trick. No.
No. MarSIAL hat-trick, I'm going offline for a while, bro. I need reality check. 2021 is going to be quite a scary year then.
Duhaid, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the same lineup that they put out against Leeds. I like the McTominay Fred combination. It works really well. I hope it continues to work well. Bruno, attacking midfielder, that's a given. I'm not sure what I'm thinking about Vidic. I sure do hope he still is playing right now. But yeah, it's going to be Maguire, Lindelof, one beside Luke Shaw, Piqué.
Duhain, don't go back to the future. Come back to the present.
Yeah, so yeah, I would still say Luke Shaw over Leicester. I think he's in a really good run of form at the moment. McTominay, Fred, Bruno, and I would go with Dan James, MarSIAL, and Rashford. Yep.
Okay.
In terms of the prediction, again, it's going to sound like a broken record, Vinod, but I this season I'm all about managing expectations. I'm not jumping into the bandwagon yet that 21 is coming. I know a few fans, if you were on social media, on Twitter, people are starting this trend, #21 is coming. I would like to know what kind of scotch they are drinking, but they really need to sober up. I still think we do not have the squad to challenge for the title. I think a draw will be a good result. I'm hoping for 2-1 win. One, because
Okay.
we definitely cannot keep a clean sheet. That's about it. Yep.
All right. Oh, we have a comment here from all the way. Farhan, nice having you again in the show. My prediction for Leicester versus Manchester United, 2-1. Because the Foxes veteran striker Vardy is probably second in Golden Boot race. Okay. So he's going for Leicester win. Alright, and the final one, just wrap up. Kabinish, I reckon Bruno, Rashford, MarSIAL, Cavani, and Greenwood to score double figures this season. That is highly possible and would be some achievement. Yes, let's hope so. Let's hope for an interesting game. We have been on. But Duhain, before you end the show, I got a question for you. I've been keeping from the start. Quick one.
Yes, sir.
Has been thrown by someone to you. By Vijay.
Wow.
Who's the best Argentinian footballer beside Maradona and Messi?
Oh, my favorite Argentinian footballer, Juan Pablo Sorin. Those who grew up in 90s football will know who that is. I just liked his hairstyle at the beginning, but then I realized I like his gameplay also.
John Pablo Sorin is a legend. I will respect
That's
that.
the number I'm wearing.
Okay, guys. I mean, it's been a good show, good insight. Thanks for having all of y'all. I don't know y'all guys. It's already 1 hour and 40 minutes. So let's wrap up the show. Any last word, Kevin?
I'm good. Just thank you for having me here today, and hopefully we have a good.
It's
game
great
next
for
time.
having you. Very insightful comments, sharp, precise. Hope to have you also in the show again. Selena,
Thanks.
any comments?
No, nothing else. Just that. Thanks for Kevin for coming in as well, and Duhain as well as usual. Very insightful, and Dinesh as well. Only Vinod, I'm still waiting for your predictions. I want to see whether you're going to put Lingard in or not. I'm so curious, you know. But nevertheless, yeah, just hoping for a win tonight.
I'm going for a Leicester winner. I'm being objective here. For me, last two games we were a bit lucky, but I think it might be a close game. It's either it's a 2-2 or 2-1 to Leicester. But hopefully they win. I hope they win. But I don't want to put myself ahead too much. We should not be influenced with the results. There's still a lot of things that the teams needs to be corrected, and consistency is what it is needed from the team. So as long as they can be consistent, the next 1-2 months be crucial. Once they are consistent, then we can look further.
Well said.
All right, Dinesh. Dinesh. What about you? Any last words?
Thanks, Kevin and Duane, Serena. It was a wonderful session. And also, guys, stay safe. New Year's coming up. Have a good year. You know. And Serena, we know he's no longer objective, using reverse psychology in himself. Yeah, actually, we know now. I think he's trying to console himself. You know, he's playing that. You know, he's playing a very safe poker game. You know, I'm not going to take up my cards
game.
first. Yeah, he's playing a very safe game. Come on, Vinod. You told me yesterday United is going to win 3-1. How come can you turn back like that, bro?
Hey, I didn't say 3-1. Okay.
Yeah, we got the artifacts. We're not going to go online, bro. We're not going to go WikiLeaks on that, bro.
No, Sina, I'm being objective here, but yeah, let's see.
We will see later. 8 o'clock, I'll see the WhatsApp messages. Vinod will be like, yeah, United.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You will see that.
See,
Yeah.
I do want them to win. Who doesn't want your team to win? But I don't want to be too carried away about the last few performance when we got it right.
Yeah.
But did we truly got it right? No. The last two performance we saw, we had moments of brilliance. So it was the players that has been spurring the team. So if we lose that moments, then we do not have it. It's not just like pump in, pump out every minute that they're playing high tempo. So I'm just going to reserve it out. Hopefully they prove me wrong.
But also, I want to ask you, how about your player selection? Since you say it's a loss, right? So I want to know who you're going to put.
If you give me to choose, I would choose Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Bailey, Teres, Mctermany, Fred, Bruno, James, Rashford, Greenwood.
Oh, James. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are some young talents that I feel they didn't game in, game out. They will be there. MarSIAL, no lah. He was always my first to ship out.
I'm not alone, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's like default in the lineup lah. So I think you can reserve his place already there.
Yes. Duhain, last words before I close it off.
Nothing. It's going to be considering that we've got Aston Villa, we've got Wolves, and we've got Leicester. So just manage our expectations and hope for the best at the end.
Sina, to counter you, I have faith in that team. I believe in that team. It's faith and belief. They strive them ahead. Okay, guys. I mean, it's been great having all of y'all. I think it's time. If not, we will be going on and on. It might take 2 to 3 hours then. So, to all that has been watching and following us, thank you so much for watching us. Before y'all go, please like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter for more Footy Talk fan show. This is the Devil's Den. We'll come back next week. Watch out our page. Same time, Saturday, 5:30. Alright, we're not signing off. Good evening, and let's hope for a good game tonight.
All right. Happy weekend. Thank you.
Happy weekend.